Batman vs. Superman and Captain America Civil War have very similar stories and characters,
Very much so.
though they are different in tone and have very different goals. One sets up a universe and the other tears it apart. But there is one moment in each film that shows us why one is great and the other is...
No! Not great, Bob.
Let's consider the similarities. Both films build toward a titular fight between a superhuman perfect man who stands for truth, justice, and the American way, and an armor-wearing billionaire orphan. Each movie begins with a perfect man on a mission in Africa that goes wrong. The superhuman's origins began in older conflicts, the Kryptonian Civil War and World War II, and they fought against villains who believed in genetic purity.
Will sever the degenerative bloodlines
Very
that led us
similar.
to this state.
Racist in space!
A person wounded by the hero sets off a bomb, sparking controversy. The billionaire wants to defend the established order by putting the perfect man's powers in check. Both billionaires have used their genius to fight crime and feel guilty about deaths in their past. A human being with no powers manipulates the two heroes into fighting each other, and the loss of a parent is key in the final conflict. Now, I want to be fair when I compare these movies. Civil War has an inherent advantage, being the 13th film of a franchise.
Exactly.
Whereas Warner Brothers wanted Batman vs. Superman to be a Man of Steel sequel, create a grudge match between two strangers, kill Superman, and introduce 5 members of the Justice League.
Way too much.
This is like if Marvel had made Iron Man, then skipped the Civil War so they can make the Avengers. Shoehorning Spider-Man in seems pretty easy by comparison. Also, Dawn of Justice was trying something new. These characters have been portrayed in comics, radio, film series, TV, animation again, 4 different film franchises, animation again, so why not try something different? Why not give them dramatic weight? But something feels off. The main theme of both films is choice. Choice is the center of every hero's story. It's their first step, the decision to stand up to Frank Miller, help homeless dwarves, become a Jedi, or put on a costume and fight crime. Even the marketing of Civil War put the notion of choice front and center.
True.
The film doesn't make choosing easy for the audience.
By the way.
I still don't land on one side or the other. Yes, people with superpowers are dangerous, but governments can easily be corrupted. The character Winter Soldier is Exhibit A of what happens when someone with superpowers has their choice taken away by a corrupt government. But heroes acting unilaterally also causes a lot of problems. I mean, the Ghostbusters just ruined the Statue of Liberty, unless they walked it back out to Liberty Island after defeating Vigo the Carpathian. Hashtag post-credit scenes I'd like to see. When the super soldiers rebel in the flashback, it proves Cap's point that choice will always win out, but also Tony's point that they need to be controlled. Tony wants the government to take away his choice, like a juvenile delinquent who signs up for the military.
Oh no! I must have joined the junior campers!
Choice was also a key theme of Man of Steel. Krypton was a society that stripped choice away from individuals. Everyone was genetically bred to fulfill a particular role in society. Kal-El was the first natural birth in centuries.
He will be free. Free to forge his own destiny.
Because Jor-El believed that choice was important, and because he wanted to be the first Kryptonian in millennia to actually lose his virginity. Zod's genocidal plan is created by the absence of choice. He was genetically programmed to protect Krypton.
That is the sole purpose for which I was born.
The absence of choice is the heart of Batman vs. Superman. With Superman around, human beings are no longer free to determine their own path. Some feel grateful for this, but others feel small, helpless. Superman doesn't just make Batman feel helpless, he makes him feel fear. He's slowly becoming like the criminals he's always hunted, extreme, violent, and afraid of a man in a cape. This fear is nearly his downfall.
So falls the House of Wayne.
Yep, absolutely.
Luther resents Superman because he has taken choice away from humanity. Lex should have been a relatable villain, but Jesse Eisenberg's lunacy plays more like a proto-Daffy Duck.
Exactly.
No, what am I? What was I saying? I love it!
Zemo had a more clear-cut motive. He lost his family and wants revenge. They both feel powerless in a world of superhumans, but Zemo's reasons are more personal. But where the movies differ the most is tone. Batman vs. Superman is a look at what would happen if superheroes suddenly entered our world. But Civil War is what happens when superheroes are beholden to real-world rules, like when Cap and Bucky are arrested. I'm in my little car now. What amazes me about Civil War is that it can overstuff the movie with so many characters, but it works. Because there is one thing at the center of the film, one thing that every character works toward. Bucky. The first scene of the movie is about Bucky, and the final battle takes place where the Winter Soldier was born, and everything adds up at the end. Tony's childhood resentment of Steve, their bickering in past movies, it all works a lot better than Tony, I don't know, having a nightmare about an army of super soldiers conquering the planet. But it's not a perfect movie. For instance, why doesn't Ross print up a copy of The Accords for everyone? Didn't have enough time at the Kinko's?
That's nitpicky.
This movie's perfect. The moment these movies truly diverge is the title bout between the heroes. They both begin after the villain reveals a twist that sets the fight into motion. Lex, that he knows Superman's secret identity. What? And Zemo, that Bucky killed Tony's parents. The fights have similar motives. My mom might die versus you killed my mom.
Yeah.
Dramatically, Civil War wins. The stakes are immediately personal. Steve even confesses that he betrayed Tony and he knew the truth about his parents the entire time. And so did the audience, because Captain America Winter Soldier totally spoiled the ending of this movie. The final battle happens in a place where Bucky was given the orders to destroy Tony's life. The very place where choice was taken away from both of them. The battle in Batman vs. Superman begins on a roof, close to the heavens. Gradually, they fall downwards, as if they're descending into hell. In both fights, they slowly lose the trappings of what makes them superheroes. Batman loses pieces of his armor and his voice modulator, while Superman loses his powers, twice. In Civil War, Iron Man loses his jet boots, targeting systems, hand lasers, mask, and finally his arc reactor. Bucky loses his arm, and Captain America loses his shield, and then his identity. By the end of Civil War, it's a street fight. Violence escalates, mirroring their intensifying emotions. When Steve abandons the shield, it is the climax of both the action and the emotional drama of the film. There are many problems with the battle in Batman vs. Superman.
God.
First of all, nothing is directly personal. Sure, some of Bruce Wayne's friends and employees were killed during Zod's invasion, but was he close to any of these people?
No.
I didn't see Vicky Vale or Selena Kyle or Robin or Alfred in the rubble, or even Lucius Fox would have made more sense than killing Jack. Who's Jack? And by the way, this movie does a great job presenting the point of view of civilian casualties. The opening of Metropolis is one of the best scenes in the movie. Unlike Man of Steel, when Superman stands in the ashes of Zod's victims and makes out with Lois Lane for 14 seconds while Perry White watches. But the final fight in Batman vs. Superman never had to happen. All Superman had to do was float above Batman and say, I know we've had our differences, but my mom is in danger. Lex Luthor is an asshole. Also, you have a cyst on your stomach you should really have checked out. But in a movie where Superman has 40 lines, he tries to get Bruce's attention with less than 20 words.
Yes.
Bruce, please, I was wrong. You have to listen to me. Lex wants us. You don't understand. There's no time.
He keeps getting closer to Batman to talk to him, placing himself within striking range. At one point, there is a pause in the fight, and I thought, oh, he's about to explain himself, but then he starts fighting again instead. He's wasting time, and his mom is about to die. And he throws everything at Superman but the kitchen sink. Oh, wait. The sink is what finally does him in. Yeah, it's a good thing Batman practiced by pulling that tire. So what's the climax of this fight? I think you know where I'm going to go with this. Like Lex Luthor says,
Every boy's special lady is his mother.
Martha.
Why did you say that name?
The name that launched 1,000 memes. Now, I see what they're trying to do with Martha. Batman has suddenly become the guy who's killing someone's mom. He's the monster now, I get it. And to be fair, lots of people have pointed out that no one calls their mom by their first name. But maybe Superman was manipulating Bruce by using his mother's name. The problem is, you're going to kill Martha does not give Batman any context for the moment, even if he does know that that's the name of Superman's mom.
Exactly.
But let's look past these nitpicking points and see this scene for what it is. The ultimate hero's choice. Batman, and by extension humanity, must choose whether they will accept a Superman in their lives. And I struggled for a long time with why this scene doesn't work. Does it not serve the theme? Is it the action, or is the parent connection not foreshadowed very well? No, it doesn't work because it's silly.
Why did you say that name?
It's his mother's name.
It's really silly. It takes you out of the moment.
Completely.
I make you a promise. Martha won't die tonight.
When you hear the name Martha, you suddenly realize that you're watching Ben Affleck holding a space crystal and threatening an alien in pajamas, and they're both demanding that we take them seriously. The height of humor is when people try to be serious and fail, and this is hilarious. Whereas the Marvel characters don't take themselves seriously, so when something serious does happen, it's effective.
Right.
Like watching a child cope with the death of a parent. Civil War carefully unravels a years-old friendship. There are no unnecessary parts, and it manages to be as emotional as it is fun. Batman vs. Superman was crammed down our throats by an impatient studio and a director who specializes in flixel photography, not character development.
Right.
Where Civil War is organic, Batman vs. Superman is forced. It's easy to see why one of these films is praised by critics and fans, and the other is fiercely defended by what has to be one guy with 1,000 different usernames. For Screen Crush, I'm Ryan Airy.
So I wanted to try to do some Screen Crush as far as their versus videos. 'Cause, I do some versus videos, but I like the way they do theirs, and it's something that I hope to kind of weed myself into eventually as I build this channel and somehow gain more time in my day. But I like this. And they also did one for Avengers and Justice League, so I'm gonna check that one out too, probably next week. But this was good. I liked how it spoke to that the fight in Batman v Superman was not needed at all. And it wasn't, it really wasn't. Superman could have explained himself, and that would have been the gist of it, and then we go on to them eventually still fighting Doomsday, because that was going to happen. But you knew from the beginning that this movie was not going to be just them fighting and that was going to be it. You knew there was going to be some other big bad. But what killed me with Batman v Superman was, I remember going to the theaters and seeing it and leaving when it was over and just feeling depressed. Like, I just didn't feel good at all. And it wasn't because of what happened in the movie with Superman. Him dying, I knew that was going to happen. It was how the film progressed. It just felt like it was trying to rush to Diana Prince showing up as Wonder Woman. It was rushing to the fight between Batman and Superman, which had some cool moments, but never had that weight to it where I felt like anybody was in danger, real danger, or that this was going to be a fight to the death. I never felt that way. Where with Civil War, I had many moments of that, because not with the big fight at the airport scene, because a lot of them were, as Scarlet Witch said, or Wanda, they were pulling their punches. But the fight between Bucky, Cap, and Iron Man. I felt like at one point I thought Cap was gonna kill Iron Man. I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. But also with Bucky losing his arm, like there was moments where there was real consequences to this fight. For all of them, and not just from the fight being ended, there was consequences after the fight. You know, relationships that were torn apart. So many different things that felt organic and real that Batman v Superman lost touch with, in my mind. I just didn't enjoy it. Now, the extended cut is much better. The ultimate director's cut is a lot better. It still has issues, but the pacing is a lot better. The editing feels better. It's a little more tighter, even with being a longer movie. It's those relationships, it's those character moments that's just missing. It's really missing in this movie. And seeing how Screen Crush highlights that both movies are about choice, but in different aspects of it, I like how they talk about it in that way. Because we see one scenario where it was done very, very well, and one scenario where it wasn't done so great. It's still entertaining, but if I had to choose one over the other, I'm always going to choose Civil War. And that's not even my favorite Captain America movie. Winter Soldier is. You guys know that. That's my favorite movie out of the three Cap movies, and really out of a lot of the MCU movies overall. But Batman v Superman, I was expecting so much more. And I wish, I was talking to somebody, I think a few days ago in the comments, and they were saying like they should have done Man of Steel, a Batman movie, then Batman v Superman, then you do Justice League, or maybe another one in between there, however you want to go about it. But they should have really took their time to progress this, where BVS just felt really rushed. It felt very, very rushed, and I wasn't connected to the characters like I wanted to be, outside of them being the characters they are. Batman and Superman, we love those characters, but we still have to understand the motivations, and the motivations in this movie were not very strong, and that's where I think it was really weak, unfortunately. What are your thoughts on this Screen Crush video? Do you like this content? Was this cool? Do you want to see more of this? They have a number of versus videos related to either characters or story elements, and they kind of go at it that way. So let me know if you have any feedback on how this video went. Let me know that as well. I like to take your feedback and apply it in future videos, see how it works. I want to make these as good as they can be as far as these reaction videos. If you want to continue to see more, check out some of our most popular videos on the channel. You can also check out one of our more recent reactions right over here. If you've seen all that, then I'll see you guys in the comments for this one.